They told you to have a backup plan. They told you to play it safe, hedge your bets, keep your options open. But they never told you that comfort is the silent killer of greatness. They never told you that the man who leaves himself a way out will always take it. They never told you that your backup plan is what's holding you back. Because the truth is this: if you want to build a life that defies logic, if you want to live with power, with fire, with purpose, you've got to burn the boats, not sail them, not anchor them for later, not keep them just in case. Set them on fire, watch them sink, and feel your soul awaken as the flames rise. The phrase didn't come from theory, it came from history. Hernan Cortez, 1519. He arrives in the New World with a few hundred men, outnumbered, outarmed, and facing a civilization beyond imagination. He lands his ships, looks his men in the eyes, and commands, "Burn the boats." Because retreat was not an option. Because victory doesn't belong to the man with a safety net. It belongs to the man who steps forward with no way back. And that's where you are now. Maybe you've been coasting. Maybe you've been talking big dreams but sleeping on small actions. Maybe you've been pretending you're waiting for the right time. There is no right time. There is only now. And now is the time to light the match. You don't change your life by wishing. You change your life by eliminating every exit that leads back to your old self. The one who quit early, the one who feared rejection, the one who blamed the world for why it never worked out. It's not enough to want the life. You have to decide there is no life worth living except the one you were born for. Mindset is not some cute buzzword. It is the furnace where your destiny is forged. The world you see outside you will always reflect the war inside you. The timid mind creates a timid life. The bold mind creates a bold future. Think about Edison. Thousands of failed attempts, each one lighting the path to the invention that would change the world. But what if he had kept a boat floating behind him? What if he said, maybe this electricity thing won't work. Maybe I'll go back to the newspaper business. We'd still be living in the dark. Burn the boats. Because when there is no other option, you become the person capable of achieving it. The pain forces growth. The uncertainty breeds innovation. The desperation sharpens your focus like nothing else can. And that's why belief is the first fire. Not just belief in your dream, belief in your inevitability. Not, I hope I make it, not maybe one day, but I will, I must, I already am. Because until you believe, you'll hesitate. And hesitation is the death of all potential. You don't get halfway through the storm and stop rowing. You don't get to the edge of the cliff and build a parachute. You jump and figure out how to fly on the way down. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, people will call you crazy, but you weren't born to be understood. You were born to be great. And greatness is not convenient. It demands sacrifice. It demands tunnel vision. It demands that you cut off the voices of doubt, both outside and within. Henry Ford was laughed at by engineers. Andrew Carnegie was dismissed as an immigrant dreamer. Disney was told he lacked imagination. Every single one of them burned the boats. And that's why we still speak their names. So stop waiting for permission. Stop asking the world to give you a sign. You are the sign. You are the spark. Now become the fire. Because once your belief ignites, your clarity sharpens. You begin to see, not with your eyes, but with your vision. And that's the next stage of your rise. Not just believing, but seeing the life before it arrives. Close your eyes and see it. Not as a fantasy, but as a memory of the future. Feel the weight of the pen in your hand as you sign the deal. Hear the applause when your work finally cracks the world open. Taste the salt in the air when you stand at the edge of everything they said you'd never reach. Smell the scent of freedom, the one that doesn't come from vacations, but from victory. Vision isn't passive. Vision is creation in advance. Clarity is the power to walk through chaos without losing direction. It's how a general marches through fire and smoke because he already mapped the battlefield in his mind. It's how Steve Jobs pulled technology from the future and placed it in your palm because he saw what the world needed before the world could imagine it. If you can't see it, you'll never build it. If your dream is blurry, your steps will be hesitant. Clarity gives birth to conviction, and conviction builds the kind of discipline that doesn't need motivation. It becomes your default, your identity. You don't try to become the best version of yourself. You return to who you were before the world told you to play small. That's where purpose comes in. Purpose is not found, it's remembered. It's in the fire you felt as a child when you dreamed without limits. It's in the ache you feel when you know you're meant for more. It's in the war between who you are and who you've settled to be. When your life is anchored to purpose, you become unshakable. You stop asking if it's worth it and start living like it's the only option. You stop chasing applause and start chasing alignment. Because purpose doesn't whisper, it roars. And when you hear it, you can't go back to sleepwalking through your days. You can't pretend you didn't hear the call. You can't bury the truth beneath distractions, doubt, and delay. Burn the boats. Burn the comfort that's keeping you from calling out your name in the storm. Burn the illusion that average is acceptable. Burn the false belief that success is reserved for someone else. Once you're lit from within, discipline becomes sacred. Not punishment, not restriction, but the ritual of remembering who you really are. Discipline is freedom wearing a hard face. It's showing up when no one claps. It's putting in the reps while they sleep. It's speaking victory when results are silent. Think of Muhammad Ali. He said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion." That's discipline. That's what it takes to build a life instead of renting one. No shortcuts, no cheat codes, no second boat waiting offshore. You either become the architect of your destiny or the slave to your excuses. And when discipline meets action, when thought becomes motion, the world moves. Not because it's ready, but because you moved first. Action is the great separator, the line between the ones who wish and the ones who win. The moment where dreams stop floating in the clouds and crash down into reality with force. Because nothing moves until you do. No plan matters if your feet stay still. No affirmation has power if it's not backed by relentless execution. You don't wait for motivation. You manufacture momentum. You don't wait until you feel ready. You build while trembling. Success doesn't arrive with a trumpet. It sneaks in through the back door of your discipline and catches you mid-struggle. People talk about risk like it's something to avoid, but the real risk is standing still while your life burns out in the background. The real risk is being haunted by the vision of the person you could have become. Every empire was once just an idea. Every fortune was once just a decision. Every transformation started the moment someone said, "I'm done waiting. I'm done doubting. I'm done crawling." Action is how you speak to the universe in the only language it understands: motion. It responds not to your wants, but to your work. It bends to the will of those who refuse to stop moving. Look at Carnegie. He was just a poor boy from Scotland, but he didn't beg for opportunity, he created it. Step by brutal step, from bobbin boy to steel magnate. Not because he was lucky, but because he was relentless. So stop asking if you're qualified. Start qualifying yourself through effort. Stop waiting for the conditions to be perfect. Start walking through the storm with your head high. You're not building some fragile little goal. You're building a life. And life demands that you bleed for it. That you fall and crawl and rise again with fire in your gut. The struggle, that's the tuition. The sleepless nights? That's the price of admission. The rejection, the failure, the setbacks, that's the universe sculpting you into something that can hold success without breaking. Resilience isn't a trait, it's a choice. It's the voice inside you that says, "Not today. You won't break me. I'm still here. I'm still coming." Every time you rise, you're telling life, "I won't bow, I won't bend. I am becoming who I was born to be." Thomas Edison didn't see failure, he saw data. 10,000 ways that didn't work, but he didn't let the darkness define the outcome. He lit it up instead. Literally. That's what you must do. When it's hard, when it's hopeless, when every voice is telling you to give in, build anyway. You don't need the world's permission to rise, you need your own. You need to stop asking for a sign and become the sign for someone else. And once action becomes your religion, you realize something deeper. You're not doing this just for yourself. You're doing this for every version of you that stayed silent, small, and safe. You're doing this for the people watching from the shadows, wondering if their dream is possible too. And when you walk forward with that kind of fire, you stop chasing, you attract.